Good morning, everybody. This is Diggs. It's another beautiful day out here in the Pacific Northwest, and today we're going to be talking about No Kuni Cross Worlds CP. Why are we going to talk about this? Because every day people ask me, what CP do I need to do tier 1? What CP do I need to do tier 2? What CP do I need to do farming quickly? And the reality is CP is a lie. It is not indicative of combat power. Let's talk about this and let's go ahead and dig in. So nonstop, I've been asked about CP over the last couple of weeks making No Kuni content. And for a lot of people, they see CP as an indicator of power. And a lot of that is because guilds, for example, will require a specific CP level. They will require, specific growth in your CP daily, which I would argue is not necessarily bad, but it's not necessarily an indication of how powerful your character is, how much damage they're going to do. There are much more important indicators than your CP, and a lot of the times CP does not accurately reflect how powerful your character is. A great example is you can go and get a lot of CP, potentially collecting treasure chests or collecting a lot of certain enemies, right, or certain familiars. And those familiars, maybe those familiars give you a ton of CP, but you only got HP familiars. So yes, your CP is going to be higher, but all it did was increase your max HP, whereas someone who was maybe free to play and was very intentional about the stats that they chose are going to have significantly less CP, but they're going to have more valuable stats for the party and for themselves. That's going to be maybe evasion. That's going to be maybe defense, right? They're going to have stats that contribute to their damage and contribute to their character overall, as opposed to just a smear of stats all across the board. Ni no Kuni is very similar to other games in the Netmarble sphere that have access to codexes, access to specialties, access to a combat power indicator. And in other games, combat power is never indicative of how strong your account actually is. Seven Knights 2, for example, did have a combat power ranking. And while combat power may indicate how strong, horizontally your account has maybe progressed in terms of overall board settings, what was more important was what characters you pulled from the gacha, what characters you had in your formation, right? You could quite easily take on an enemy team that maybe had, 100k CP less for you if you managed to pull Ace, who was one of the best characters. So for all of these things that you are getting told you need this certain level of CP for, you need this level of CP to do main story, it is completely not true. So I would encourage all of you out there who are asking how to increase your CP, what's the best way to go about doing this, to reevaluate how you are building your character. Reevaluate what's important for you, what stats are going to be important. If you're playing Destroyer and you maybe have access to the taunt ability, I don't even know if that's in the game yet. Maybe you want to focus on defense. Maybe you do want to focus on HP, right? If you're like me and you're a rogue and you want to deal, damage, you want to focus on potentially boss content and group content. Maybe you want to focus on getting different skills, right? It's quite easy to focus on just your CP, but imagine the difference having a full elemental wheel of spells would make, or skills would make, when you are doing specific elemental content, right? If I want to farm fire enemies faster, if I potentially had the 2 water skills that I need, all of a sudden the damage I'm going to deal is significantly more. Or if instead of investing in whaling on additional familiars, what if I invested in skill books to increase my damage potential, right? There are a lot more things to invest in than potentially just your combat power. And trying to get that across to you guys is really difficult, because if you haven't played a game like Seven Knights 2, like other Netmarble series, understanding the codex, understanding what's important is really difficult. Probably the best thing you can do is read abilities, read what the modifiers are on the skills. Don't just go to a content creator and say, You know, oh, they say these skills are the best, right? These skills are the best for my class, and these are what I'm going to use. Those skills are the best for your class in a certain situation. If you're going to go farm fire monsters, no matter what, you're going to want the water skills. It doesn't matter what skills are the best for your class. Setting the water skills to have those 50% damage modifier on those abilities is going to kill significantly faster than having your best in slot class skills, right? Not to mention, most people, when they talk about best in slot, are only talking about PvP. PvE is a completely different creature, and I would argue, you know, just like any game where we are in a game where PvP is pretty important, players will consistently forget that PvE exists. They will consistently forget that, you know, perhaps setting skills for your elemental build, right? For your water composition, for farming, is actually going to get you more potential farming, faster farming, more skill books, more power than just investing in the combat power of your character. A great example is universal skills. Investing in universal skills across your characters is fantastic. You're going to be able to use those on your alts. You're going to be able to kill faster. You can see right now, my swordsman in the background is using water bomb there on the bottom. He's also using, I believe it's called leaf dance right there. And my water bomb is level 2. And I'm hoping to potentially get my water bomb to level 3, right? Like, these are things that I'm focusing on. They are not best in slot for my rogue. They are not the best in slot abilities. They're not the best in slot for any of my characters, really. But you're going to need them for farming. You're going to need them for PvE. You're going to need them to survive. So for those of you out there that are constantly kind of flustered by CP and don't know what to do, take a moment, assess what is your priority as your character. For most people, it's just going to be attack and defense. That's all you're going to need to focus on right now. Maybe you're someone who's just been grinding HP. Not important. Focus on your priorities. Build your character so that all of your characters can be powerful. Invest in your armor first, right? If you're wanting to level your alt characters, potentially invest in your 3-star weapons. I'm seeing a lot of people say, you know, don't invest in your 3-star weapons. It's a waste. Well, if you're like me and you only pull like 3-4-star weapons, right? And you've only invested like $300 in the game and you don't want to put more money in the game, using your 3-star weapons is damn good, right? Use what you have, figure out what's best for your composition, and go from there. Anyway, everybody, I really hope this video helped drive home how useless CP is as an indicator of strength, and I'll talk to you guys next time.